What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. If you're new here, welcome to the garage. Let's hang out. Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so now that our layout's done, I went ahead and measured the overall length with the bends in it, and I'm going to cut a piece for that, and I'm going to leave it a little bit long, so if something happens, I don't want to come up short. You can always come back and trim stuff off. This wheel started skipping when I was making that cut. See how it's getting all chipped up right there? That's not really safe to use. It's not bad. I've seen a lot worse. Like a lot of times a chunk will come out of it. But if it's like bad, do not use it because they can shatter and you can get like a piece stuck in there or something. So safety tip from Gnarly Garage. I'm gonna try to heat it and pull it with this wrench, as you can see. I'm going to try to keep this wrench as horizontal as possible because keeping that level plane is very important. Okay, so heating it did not work. I think the MAP gas torch doesn't get it hot enough. So I have a tubing bender. So there's that one. You better eat your Wheaties for doing this. Goodness gracious. Pretty much, since we're not tying these, you can just roll it the opposite way. Well, if you have something to support your loose end, level the end that you bent already. And then I got to try to hold this thing up while I'm bending it. We're just going to wing it, which is 90% of why I keep screwing stuff up on this bike. Well, just the fender, because I was like, nah, just wing it. It's out just a little bit. Yeah, that is not bad. Not bad. That little trick worked. Hey, Jimmy, edit this part. Because it's taking me forever. Dude, this is gonna look sick, Jimmy. I lose stuff like somebody pays me to lose stuff. There's that ghost again messing with me, Jimmy. Hide my stuff. Hey, for real, when that door slammed shut, that was actually, this is filmed over the course of 2 evenings. Because I have a day job, unfortunately. I wanted this to be my day job, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with all your peeps so I can make money off of YouTube, social media, and just build motorcycles for a living. But that door closing was kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Did you guys just hear that door slam? That kind of startled me. Watch me look around for my tools. Thrilling content, everybody. Thrilling content. Alright, I'm going to be completely real. I had to do a lot of tweaking on these bends. I think part of the problem is when I use that tubing bender, bend it to a 45, and it go far enough past because it wants to spring back. So it was out like I showed you earlier. I think that was the reason why. So I ended up going significantly far past that 45 mark, and then I had to do more tweaking. So they're a little bit more together now. That's as tight as I could get that offset with those benders, and it sunk me in like an inch overall between the two sides. So probably about a ½ inch per side. So I'm gonna have to figure something else out for the mounts, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. Just got some thinking. I'm not gonna make it that tall. That's absolutely ridiculous. Probably it's harder to tell in video. In person, it's nuts. Like I'm 6 foot tall, and it's like over my head. That's a little too crazy for me, anyways. I mean, to each their own. If you like 7 foot tall sissy bars, rock on, dude. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do, and then we will. Actually, that's pretty close. I'm going to lay these out because I think the links coming off the bottom might be a touch off. So I'm going to lay them down on my table and do some measuring and match them up, and then figure out what I'm going to do for the top. We'll do some fabricating. Yes. Now, since I have a torch and we're going to heat this stuff up and bend it that way, I made a jig on the table. Remember our layout, I have the center lines drawn up. I just got this on one of the center lines right where our angles drawn up, and then placed one of those. I just cut a pipe nipple in half and welded it to the table pretty good. And I just did this for support. So we're going to bend it that way and then flip it and then bend it back using the same outline that we have there to compare it to. So that's what we're going to do here. All right, let's get burning. Let's see what we can do. All right, the good news is the map gas torch actually worked. Thank you, Jesus. So there's the first offset. I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw another offset in. I got to figure out where my seat lays out, and then make sure I don't offset in too much to where I'm like skinnier than what the seat is. So another thing that I did, if you're doing this, so as I said, I took our layout. I'm going to take this off. Welded those nipples to the table, and you can see that's what I was bending against. That one was to keep it from going that way when I'm bending this way. So as you heat it up, if you mark it with a Sharpie, that Sharpie mark's going to go away. So my first bend was whatever, because you got to cut the ends anyways, and the second bend was 2 3/4 away from the first mark. So that's like a center to center measurement, 2 3/4. So I used this piece of flat stock as like a backstop. You can see where this one's butted up against it. So after I made the first bend, I moved this down 2 3/4 so you can use it as a backstop, because your mark's going to disappear, and that's a good way to make sure that you're on the money on your bends, and that's why those match up pretty well. I'm going to get this cut and fit it up and see how it looks, and see if I want to put another bend in it. Day 595 of making a custom Sissy Bar for my chopper. It's hotter than Satan's taint out here. We are under a heat advisory in the state of Ohio, and have been all week, and will be until a couple more days. Oh well, right? So, pick up where I left off. This video has been over several different days. Layout is so important. So after you get your bends figured out, I ended up adding a few more bends to mine. Then I kind of laid it down on the table, got my measurements of what the spread's going to be based off of the mounts down here, and kind of just thought of some ideas and went from there. And as you can see back here, that's what we ended up with. Boop. So I just put that bar in between in the middle there, and got some measurements, used my angle finder to figure out what angle I wanted those bebops to come down. And I had to measure a couple times because the angle's funky, but there was a little gappage, nothing I couldn't fill with some MIG wire. So there you have it. Still has some finish welding to do and some cleaning up to do on that, but everything was laid down on my table, and Cannot stress the importance of using a flat bar as your base to keep those from pushing. You can make sure they're always even on your table. Just have them pushed up against that bar, especially while you're bending. One thing I learned, bending on the table, the only way to go. I tried bending in a vise a couple times. So there we have it. That's how you build a sissy bar. I'm not done yet. I got to clean some stuff up. Take a wire wheel all over the whole thing again. Just get everything looking nice and neat, right? And then she going to chrome. Yeah, yeah, that bad boy's gonna get chrome, dude. Hey, if you watch this whole video, I really appreciate you. Make sure you follow, drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me if I did terrible or tell me if you like it. Maybe some suggestions. I don't know, whatever. So thanks again for watching. Stay gnarly.